Thank you, Concorla. Taoireachtas, yesterday I attended in the AV room the Scoliosis Advocates Network and Spina Bifida Pediatric Advanced Group. It was probably one of the most packed AV rooms that I have been here in the 5 years I was here. And when their stories were told, there wasn't one dry eye in the room. Parents with their children in wheelchairs. There was people there in crutches with their spines twisted, and they were given a commitment by the Taoiseach 2 years ago, again when he was Minister for Health, and told him that he would meet him and told him there would be 9.1 million made available for them. That 9.1 million has gone in to the overspending somewhere within the HSE and has never been seen since. We now have some of these children have to leave this country to get operations, to give them a quality of life. There was one person there yesterday who was inoperable and can't leave this country for any operation. One of them said to me, "Richard, what is the definition of madness?" They said, sorry, I must actually get it right. It's when the same thing is done over and over again and you're expecting a different result. That seems to come to play when the government of this country go to the country, and every time people come back, they vote for the same people all the time. They told them the same things all the time, but make no change. Where is the accountability in Cabinet when somebody promises somebody 9.1 million for a quality of life and doesn't deliver? Where is the accountability from the Taoiseach? And there's emails to prove it that they've asked him for the last 18 months to meet them, and he's refused. And he's put them into different, this committee will meet you, this committee will meet you. But he hasn't met them themselves. They have the emails to prove it, while there's children suffering. For procedures to be put in place for a quality of life. Why does this Cabinet stand by and allow this happen when you spend 336,000 in a bike shed, 1.4 million on a security shed, 1.2 million on a cabin out the front there for RT to put in their bits and pieces, and you can't give 9.1 million to help a quality of life of children that are suffering?
Thank you, Deputy. Taoiseach.
First of all, I thank the Deputy for raising this issue, which is causing immense anxiety and stress and trauma to many families, and particularly to the children who require surgery and treatment in a timely manner. And I would say to you, Deputy, that this has been prioritised within government, has been prioritised. Funding isn't an issue from the government's perspective. Additional staff has been recruited. There have been issues, as you know, in respect to some aspects of that over the last 2 years. There has been a significant increase in the number of pediatric spinal procedures carried out in 2022 and 2023. I'm not going to go through all the figures because, as far as I'm concerned, it's not enough until every child is enabled to have an operation when it's optimally prescripted, if you like, by the clinicians that this is the time the child needs the operation and the child should get the operation. That's why I've been a strong supporter of outsourcing. If capacity doesn't exist within the national system, and it has been increased, that has to be said, it has been increased, funding has been provided, and there's more operations and procedures being done, but there's still, in my view, the waiting times are too long for children. And where possible, in my view, we should facilitate children getting their surgery done in a timely manner. And there is now, the HSE is engaging with Children's Health Ireland, who is responsible for this, the National Orthopaedic Hospital in Kappa, the Blackrock Clinic and the National Treatment Purchase Fund to coordinate national outsourcing opportunities for both spinal and non-spinal orthopaedic work to ensure maximum capacity for complex spinal surgeries in CHI. And they're looking, an arrangement with Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital in New York has been finalised. Consultants from New York have travelled to Ireland to see patients at a clinic in Dublin. Following a clinic held in Dublin with surgeons from Great Ormond Street Hospital in London, a cohort of patients have been offered treatment abroad, and this is in progress. And an arrangement has also been finalised with Portland Hospital, United Kingdom. And families will be supported in accessing these pathways if it is the right option for their children. And that will include travel, flights, accommodation, transport, and a subsistence rate for expenses. Ideally, we would want all children to be done in the country. But in my view, timely intervention is the key for the child. That is my personal view. When I was a Minister for Health in 2002, 2003, we sent 100 children to Johns Hopkins in the United States because we were redoing or building new theatres in Crumlin. And our consultants here led that, and it worked effectively at the time. In my view, what should guide this is the needs of the child and timely interventions. And I've discussed this with the Minister for Health, and between increasing national capacity and just eliminating the waiting times by those that we can get good arrangements in Great Ormond Street and elsewhere, we should pursue that.
Thank you, Tánaiste. So you mentioned CHI with the HSC and advocates. This is the same people that are actually heading this since 2015, except they're just under a new name. Nothing has changed. Sorry? The same people from that system are under a new name, new positions put up. It's the same people. The one thing that you left out in your contribution, and you said anxiety for the people, you left out the main thing here. The pain children are going through unnecessarily. And also, you mentioned, right, that some of these children can't leave the country for these operations. And they have to be looked at on a 12-monthly basis for their growth and everything else as they grow older. And if the operations aren't done within that timely period, you're creating unneeded pain for these children. So if it's not funding, it's not clinical, why isn't it happening? And why are these people here again yesterday and waiting for 2 years for the Taoiseach to get back to them, and their children in pain? In pain, Tánaiste. That's the bottom line. We can say what we like here, but they wouldn't be here if what you were saying was being done. And they're at their wits' end, watching their children and loved ones in pain every day, which not only is putting those children in pain, but they're watching all their family and their unit around them, seeing them in pain. That's where the problem lies.
Thank you.
Could I just say that it's about capacity, and like in 2019 there was about 380 procedures being done on an annual basis in 2019. Last year there was about 464. There was a higher amount actually in 2022. There was 509 spinal procedures. The hiring of more healthcare professionals has happened in Crumlin and Temple Street Children's Hospitals and Kappa. A 5th theatre in Temple Street was opened in October of last year. An additional magnetic MRI scanner was installed in October 2023. 24 beds, which are now all operational, provided, and further activity in paediatric theatre lists at Kappa. More cases have come on, or more children have come on the list and so on. As far as I'm concerned, we have to do whatever it takes to get the operations done.
So how many of those children were operated on twice?
Now, what I would say to you,
from the rods breaking in their backs,
I would say as well is that
double figures are given.
Please, Deputy.
If children who can be treated overseas, and it's not ideal, I understand that, although there has been a long-standing relationship between our children's hospitals and hospitals like Great Ormond Street and hospitals in the United States. So the idea of collaboration between them is nothing new.
Honestly, the figures are given are inaccurate.
A whole range of things.
Right,
and I think
figures are given are inaccurate because some of those operations have been done twice for children that the rods broke in their backs, and they were operated on twice within 2 years. And they're also in those stats.
As far as I'm concerned, I want every child looked after, but we have to do it in the most effective way we can. I think the most effective way we can do it now is a combination of building up national capacity and also
Taoiseach
for
needs to
children
meet
who
them.
are waiting too long,
you, Taoiseach,
to have
the
those
time is
children
up.
looked
We're way
after
over
in the
time.
number of hospitals that I identified there earlier.
Thank you. That